My soul is very happy in this video, you guys, in case you weren't aware. That was really aggressive. Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with some of my most surprising reads of 2018. So already up on my channel is the books that I was most disappointed with in 2018, but today we're going to be talking about the ones that I was most surprised by. And these are a handful of books that I went into either not really knowing what I would feel about them or thinking that I probably wasn't going to finish them, that I was probably going to DNF them about halfway through. But I ended up finishing all of them and absolutely adoring them. The first one is one that I've talked about multiple times on this channel, and that is Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston. I got this one earlier in the spring from Owl Crate, and this is just a fun sci-fi retelling of Anastasia. I just randomly picked it up because I found the audiobook free online, and oh my gosh, it was so good. I was hooked within pages. I wanted to know every little thing, and I was like shipping people hard from the very, very beginning. I keep saying that sci-fi is not my favorite, but a lot of my favorites are becoming sci-fi novels, so maybe I'm wrong. The next book is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. This one I knew very little about, but I knew enough about going into it that I could kind of feel like I was going to like it at least a little bit, but I didn't know how much I would like it. I found the audiobook for free because I had a free credit, and I decided to just give it a shot, you know, why not? And yep, I was hooked. When you can sit there and listen to like 5 hours straight of the audiobook, you know it's good. The next one is The Jane Austen Project by Catherine A. Flynn. I'm always very wary when I go into books that have to deal with Jane Austen, even though I literally buy anything that has Jane Austen to do with it. I'm still wary going in because I love Jane Austen so much that I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel. There's like time travel in this, and I've never really read a lot of time travel books before, but I loved it so much. 90% of this book takes place in Victorian England, or Regency England, and it's good. It's really good. Characters were really fleshed out very well. I loved getting to know Jane Austen in a sense because she's alive in most of this book. I really liked the way this ended. I felt like it wrapped it up really, really well. It wasn't until I got to the end of this book that I realized how much I actually did love it. So I am just so glad that I finally decided to pick this up, and it's now probably one of the most favorite books that I own. So I have a lot of sci-fi on this list because that is surprising to me. And the next one I'm going to talk about is The Illuminae Files by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I picked this up from the library because I kept staring at it, and I opened it and I didn't realize that it was in this kind of file format, but I thought it was really, really interesting, and I thought, you know, if I get it from the library and I don't like it, I can just put it back. Well, I loved it. I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to connect to some of these characters because it's not from any of their points of view. It's like chats between them. It's very like stepped back and third person-y, but no, I fell for these people and I loved them, and it made me want to read more, and I definitely didn't expect that when I picked it up. I honestly expected to read like the first 20% of it and then decide, you know, I'm not feeling it and put it back. But nope, I loved it. Okay, I think this is the last sci-fi one that I'm going to talk about, so apparently I just did them all at once, and that is Saga, the graphic novel series. This is just like Romeo and Juliet set in space, and I heard Book Roast talking about this because she really liked this series, and the more she talked about it, the more I was intrigued by it, so I thought that I would pick up the first volume and just see what's up. And the first half of it took me a little bit more time to get into just because it was a lot of world building and you had to explain kind of their history and stuff, but I obviously liked it because I went out and got every other one. The next book is one that is no surprise because I definitely raved about it when I read it, and that is Yesterday I Was the Moon by Noor Unar. This is a poetry collection book that I don't know if you can tell, but I definitely enjoyed via all of the tabs. I just picked this one up because it was the next one that I was going to read in my readathon, and I was trying to go to bed and I just wanted something small that I could, you know, flip through a little bit while I was trying to get tired. Well, I didn't because I was so, like, a lot of the stuff in this book, like, hit home with me. There's a lot of writing that was absolutely gorgeous, and I just want more from her. Like, I want her to write more poetry so I can devour those two because it was so good. The next one is one that I'm not really surprised. I'm more surprised that I was surprised, if that makes sense, and that is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. This is one that I read right after I read Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and I adored Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and I knew I would going into it. But I wasn't quite sure how I felt about this one, but I saw it at the library and I thought, you know, libraries, you don't buy the books, you can borrow them, and if you don't like them, you can just send it back. So that's what I did, and well, I was wrong because I definitely love this. I decided to read this a little bit before bedtime, so I decided to sit down like an hour or two before I was going to go to bed and just start it, and the next thing I knew, it was 4 a.m. and I had finished the book. After reading Simon and this one solidified why I liked Becky Albertalli so much. So yes, very glad that I enjoyed this and gave it a chance because it was so good. So the next one is kind of in the same vein in that I saw it at the library and thought I would give it a chance, and if I didn't like it, I would just take it back, and I breezed right through it. And that is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. This is so cute. Like, it's so incredibly cute. And I will say it does wrap up really quickly at the end, so I understand why people are having problems with the very, very end, but I was fine with it. I didn't mind that it wrapped up so quickly. Sometimes I do mind, but with this one, I didn't. And I love the way it was written. It's very dialogue heavy, as you can see, so you can get through it really, really quickly, and I really liked that. I adored this and was totally surprised. I didn't know if I was gonna like it or not. I didn't think I was going to. I kind of had meh feelings going into it, and I was definitely surprised. So very glad that I gave this one a chance. I have saved the best for last, and that this is probably the book on this list that I am the most surprised about, and that is If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. This is one that I've definitely heard about before. So I just saw this one in the library and I thought, you know, I've never actually read a book where the main character was transgender. I thought I should definitely give this one a chance, and I didn't think I was going to hate it when I went in. I just didn't really know what I thought about it going in. It was just kind of like, all right, I should probably read this, and I am so glad that I did. It is so good. It is heartwarming, and it's like heart-touching, and there's all the problems you think that are going to go on in this book go on in this book, but I feel like they're handled really well, mostly because Meredith Russo is transgender herself, so it comes from a very true background, but I adored this story. It was incredibly gorgeous. Her writing is amazing. I did not know this was her debut novel until like way after I finished it, and if you can make me feel so much after your debut, how amazing is your next story and then your next one after that gonna be? So I cannot wait to read more from Meredith Russo. I am so incredibly excited, and I am so grateful that that little like hook in my gut said, you're gonna read that book, because thank God I did, really. That's it. Those are the books that I was the most surprised about this year, and I had some really good reads that I, you know, probably wouldn't have thought twice about if I hadn't just given it a second chance, and I am so glad that I actually picked some of these books up from the library and gave it that chance, because now I have some new favorites because of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down below if there's any books this year that were super, super surprising that you absolutely adored when you finish. I would love to know down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you want to be part of this awesome growing family we've got going on over here. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!